All right. Good morning, family. How we all doing here? Welcome to Coffee and Craps with John from Pro Craps here on Casino Gaming TV. I guess I'm broadcasting to both channels still, probably for this week. I think I'll probably turn off the Pro Craps feed after this week. It seems like we're getting what I wanted, which is about 90% of our viewers over there at Casino Gaming and all that. So that was a good show last night that we had with Jeff. I got to tell you all, Jeff and Dylan work really, really, really hard at getting show content for that thing. And Jeff specifically was fighting so much with that technology this weekend. And I made mention of it last night during the show. It's insanely hard to do all this stuff, right? And here's the thing. I'm working on a Mac. Jeff works on Windows. So the software that we use is different software. I use a whole different app than he uses. So I can say, well, it should work for you like it works for me, but of course it doesn't because we're using different stuff. You've got, the software that's streaming it out, you've got two different services out there, Restream plus YouTube. There's a lot going on to make all that stuff work together. And I understand that Troy helped him out from Point 7 out yesterday. So ton goes into this stuff. And I hope you all appreciate just how hard Jeff works to get that show put together. There was a question in the comments after the show on the YouTube channel about when it is. It's every 2 weeks. At this point, that show is every 2 weeks. They may go to every week if there's enough juice for it. I don't know. Is it better to do an hour a week or better to do 2 hours every 2 weeks? Unknown. It just depends on when Jeff can carve time out and when Dylan can carve time out from their schedules to make it work. But pretty cool show. It was really, really well done. I think we've had a couple little hitches there with the Zoom locking up. What are you going to do? Software is going to do what software does. But Jeff did a great job of moderating all that stuff. On Point Craps helped out a lot with the moderation. So I'm just happy to be included on the panel. And it was good to have Greg from Fives there as well. It is one of those things where you just don't. I don't know. It's kind of a blessing to be asked to be part of that thing, and I'd like it in the future to not be part of it. Like I want to watch it as a fan, and have more folks kind of jumping in and joining the panel. So I think we had a good panel last night. Hopefully more panels coming, and that would be the idea. More diverse candidates for the panel. So anyway, that's it. That was a great show. Hella fun last night. Let's keep that up. So, all right, let's get into it here. I'm going to try something a little new today. You probably won't notice much difference on your end, but I'm trying something different on my end in terms of how I make the screens here. So we're going to see if this works out the way that it's supposed to. Yes, and I just saw your note here, Mike. It was really cool to see Joseph come on last night as a non-YouTube person. That's pretty cool. And that was the idea, right? Was to get everybody included in this thing, not just have it be the YouTube creators show. It should be everybody's show, and that would be the idea. So hopefully that starts to pick up steam as we go here. So anyway, our announcements here are largely the same. DiceCon, as you know, is Vegas, June 19th to the 21st. There's the URL to get registered for it, and also for Jeremy's Discord channel, which I say this all the time. His Discord very, very active, which is it's fun to be there. We look at the milestone watch, and I missed one last week. George from CY got to 1,000 also. So the 1,000 subscriber marker is just kind of a like you got here sort of milestone that we're all seeking. George got there last week. So last week we had like George and Waylon and Craig, and pretty cool week, right? This week it looks like Mike and Ken are both kind of getting their way up there. So let's start. I know you guys already all subscribe to them, but maybe tell your friends. Ken says a lot in his videos, which is share this video. How he says it, right? Share the video. Share the channel with people who you think can benefit from what we're doing here. So that's his line. I'm stealing it today because it does help. Tonight we have the Same Bet show with Dave Carlin. Dave's an institution, as you all know. The show tonight, I think he's doing Roll to Win, which is interesting. And if you've heard my podcast, I have this love-hate relationship with Roll to Win. As a player, I think it's a beatable game because of the way the screen works, the way the dice bounce on the screen. I like the fact that I can bet in odd amounts and the thing will pay me down to the penny. I can bet, $5.73 on the six if I want to. It's going to pay me the exact right amount. That's a nice feature to it. I don't like the fact that it's a job sucker, which it does steal 3 jobs. And I don't like the fact that it's becoming the only way for a low roller to play craps at a casino. They're going to be $50 and $100 tables now, and then $10 over here. They're just pricing us out, and that's the tool to do it. So I kind of hope that it dies, goes the way of the dodo. Be nice. But anyway, tonight, Dave is going to be sharing, I think, a lot of comments that he got on this, and he's got a very special guest as well. So get on Dave's show tonight. That's going to be a really good one. Dave is always must-see TV for me. And finally, Casino Gaming TV, we have our Discord channel going. If you're not on there, get on there. It's not very busy yet. I'd like to get some more activity on the Discord. And I don't want to use our Discord to be talking about how to play craps. That's not the point of it. The point of that Discord is to get you involved and talk to the producers of all the different shows that we have planned for the Casino Gaming channel. And, ask us questions about the shows or provide topics for the shows or whatever you want to know about the shows and kind of talk to the producers, I guess, kind of thing. It's more of a behind the scenes kind of a Discord than it is a how to play craps Discord. That's what Jeremy's Discord is about. So I'm not trying to compete with him. We're just going a different level with it. Or a different direction with it. So anyway, that is, that's your morning announcements. Other announcements, if I can drop an F-bomb, I won't actually say it, but F Russia. Good Lord, man. You guys, I know you're all watching what the hell's going on. Good gravy. That is getting more insane every day. And I got off Twitter after the election last year. I just had enough of political Twitter. And I actually don't watch that much news anymore because the news just drives me insane. But damn, man, what's going on over there is insane. And God, yeah, anyway, I don't want to get off topic too much, but that's a shit show over there. And we should be concerned and pissed and all the things. Also, who I'm pissed off today, I'm sounding like Ken Unfiltered. Who else I'm mad at today is the Major League Baseball. I don't know how you feel about this. This is kind of a poll question, I guess, but where do y'all stand on the shift? Sounds like they voted to ban the shift in baseball, which when I watch the game, I hate the shift. Hate it. Hate the shift. I think it's awful. But at the same time, if as a batter you can't beat it, what are you getting paid for? I mean, if all you can do is pull the ball, I don't know what to say about that. If it's either a home run or you pull the ball or you're going to be out and it's not fair, then get out of the sport. To me, the shift is there to beat people who don't have the proper skills to beat the game. That's what it comes down to me. So as much as I hate the shift, it should be part of the game until guys have the balls to drop a bunt down or learn how to hit oppo when they need to. You're not getting every pitch to you is not an inside fastball. You can, and my son, college baseball player, can hit any pitch oppo. We trained him from when he was 7 years old to go opposite field. Anybody can do it. So for me, that's just a bunch of whiners got to get in their way, and I'm not down with that at all. I'm not a big fan of the bigger bases. I'm not a big fan of the pitch clock. Just play baseball, please. Just play the game. Just play the game. All this bullshit they're doing about getting more eyeballs on the game, it's crap. It's garbage. Anyway, that's my rant. Russia sucks. Baseball sucks. There we go. Let's play craps. I want to talk to you about some stuff today. We're going to talk about, again, what's on tap for me. As you know, I'm working through my kind of toolbox strategies, and I'm actually adding strategies to my toolbox as we go here. I'm finding ways that I enjoy playing that are spin-offs of some of the core strategies that I play. We've been through a few of them. I'm going to work Hedges, Horseman probably a lot this week because it's a good strategy anyway. But more importantly, it's a good strategy to demonstrate topics. I think it's got so many variations to it that I can use it to work on other things. Today, for example, we're going to talk about bet sizing. And I think it's a good strategy to work through bet sizing. And we'll talk about that as we go. But as I get the toolbox strategies done, I'm doing videos separately to kind of teach on them how they work as a separate series of videos. But they all serve our building blocks, right? My toolbox strategies are designed to help us practice techniques. They get us to goal. They work your mental, and they really help me with rack and money management. And that's why I do them the way that I do them. And I really, like I said, I've been saying this for a long time. I'm going to show you more of my own stuff than other people's stuff. I don't enjoy rolling other people's strategies out. Sometimes I do. You can see the Butterberg is on here. Of course, I changed it and do it a little bit differently than Dan does it. But the Butterberg is one of the rare ones that I go, oh, that's part of my life now. The 410 Bank Street is actually a Wayland early strategy that I've, again, modified to my way of playing a little bit. When I find one that I like, I do my thing, and if it becomes part of the toolkit, it does. But my wheelhouse is not taking somebody else's idea and just rolling it for you to see. That's not what I do. And there's reasons for that, right? One is there's lots of guys who do that and are good at it, and they're known for that. And why would I want to take their steam away? That's not my place to take somebody else's steam. So I won't do it for that reason. I also don't want to get in this situation where we're just either ragging on somebody's strategy or we're just promoting friends' strategies. That's not what this is about either, right? I like to teach how things work, not so much teach you kind of, oh, go to the casino with this thing and you're going to win a bunch of money. That's not my shtick. So you send me your strategies. I'll review them. I will offer feedback over email sometimes. I may roll something out. Like I've done it before, right? Where I'll break it down to kind of the staples so we can see how things work and what the person was thinking when they made it. But my idea here is not just to go ahead and throw out strategies and that's it. That's not what this channel is about. So keep sending them, but under the guise of I will do a review with you, maybe offline, and I may roll it out here, or I may present it out here. But again, that's not the primary purpose of our show. I want to keep things on the right levels, I guess, right? I want to be teaching and bullshitting and having fun, and let other folks play, right? I think that there's a difference there with what we're going for. So anyway, that's kind of the story there. And I said this last week while we're here on the on tap screen. I'm working with nothing official, obviously, but I've talked to Mike, I've talked to Jeff, I've talked to some other people about helping me out in the chat. And I said this to you too a few different times, which is while we're chatting here during the show, what you need to do is put a Q in front of your statement if you have a question for me to look at, or a PC in front of your statement, uppercase, if you want me to see something. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that you're chatting with each other. I just can't keep up with the hundreds of chats that come through here. And I have made some mistakes coming through and answering questions that weren't questions for me. And I've missed a couple of really important things that were said in chat that weren't prefaced with an alert to me. So I missed them, totally missed them. And I apologize for that. So I want the chat to be smooth and fun, but we got to keep it, we got to keep it sane and level on your end of it. And I need somebody to help me find the things that I'm looking for or that I should be seeing. Otherwise it gets to be messy. So there's all that. Here we go. James, I'm going to put your comment here. It says, teach what does work and why does it not work. One more, and I will try and make that a part of my day for sure. I'm trying to make things like why, what works, why it doesn't work, break things down for you where I definitely can. So Dr. S says, it would be helpful if those strategies to share them and do them in Excel. Sure. We can do them in Excel. I can do them in WinCraps too. There's ways to show them working in other ways. So anyway, that's that. Greg's calling me Mr. Sunshine. I know, man, I had a bad morning. I got up this morning and I put the news on and I started reading my phone and I saw the MLB stuff and I saw the Russia thing. And, of course, what comes on the news this morning is Russia beating the shit out of protesters in Russia for protesting what they're doing to the Ukrainians, right? And you think back to last summer before, when we had all the riots here, right? And what did our police do, right? We had all these riots, people burning down half the country, and our police literally stood there and took it, right? They came out a little bit and arrested some folks, but they basically sit there and took it and provided safety. In Russia, the police are beating the shit out of women and children. There's an old lady getting her ass kicked with like 4 Russian policemen. And I'm like, that was my morning. Like, okay, that's what I'm looking at. Turn that off, and then I'm reading about baseball. I'm like, come on. Anyway, that's why I'm down here with you all, family. Let's do this. Next thing I want to talk about are some of the questions that came up last night. These are great questions, by the way. These are some of the ones that I remember. There was a lot of them. But what strategy do you play? The great question was, how do you win on short and long rolls with the same strategy? That's a miracle strategy. Do you bet different on random versus a dice influencer or dice controller? And do you bet differently on yourself? Those are some great questions that were asked. And I'll tell you this, the answer to those questions is the same for all of them, right? Jeremy says this on his channel all the time. Craps, you win at craps by you pick what you think is going to happen. You bet on what you think is about to happen. That's basically it, right? If you're on the number when it comes out with a bunch of money, you win. That's how you win at craps. There's no way to know what's coming out. No dice influencer on the planet is sniping numbers. So nobody knows what's coming. You think you know what's coming. You hope what's coming. You don't know what's coming, right? So you got to be there. You got to be on the number when it rolls. It's timing. Timing is a big part of craps. The amount of money you bet and where that money comes from is a big part of craps. So Ken did a video last night where he was kind of ragging on folks who press all the time. Pressing has a place in this game. The idea of pressing is twofold. One is, let's run our bets up high so we can make more money. If you're pressing like a fool, you're going to lose because you don't collect. But pressing gets your bets up high, and the source of the amount of money on those bets is that the money came from the casino's rack, not your rack. So you're betting with, although it is technically speaking your money, it's money you didn't bring. There's a goodness to that, right? Unless you go a little bit insane. So yeah, craps is easy, right? Be on the number when it comes out and have money on it that's worth it. That's the entirety of craps, right? There's no strategy that answers all those questions. There's no one strategy that works perfectly on the short, medium, and long rolls. It just doesn't exist. There's no strategy other than pure don't that wins on the 7, because that strategy has a hole in it too. There's holes everywhere. And I think that a lot of it to me comes down to what we're talking about today, which is going to be bet leveling or bet sizing. The show today, I named it Size Matters because I think there's a lot to this. And I think we're going to be on sizing all week. Today, I want to talk about ratios and scale. Maybe a little bit of a math lesson in there somewhere. Things we'll talk about today are like don't pass sizing on hedging, don't pass sizing on hybrids. How do you hedge? But I want to talk more about the progression systems. I want to talk more about the Labouche. We talked about it about 2 months ago. The D'Alembert we always talk about because we have a D'Alembert expert in the group here. And the Stern method has been brought up a number of times too. All of these things are designed to get more money on the numbers that are most likely to roll, or more money in action so that when the number does roll, you've got a proper bet level out there to capitalize on. I think that is where we make money in this game. It came up last night. Kevin brought this up, and I made a statement in Jeff's show, which was, he's like, "Hey, wow, I can take the progression, the 1, 3, 2, 4 progression. I can use that at blackjack." I'm like, "Hell yeah, you can." Matter of fact, most of those progressions came from baccarat, blackjack, roulette, right? 50-50, 50-50 style betting. Where that stuff came from, we've applied it to craps on a couple of the more key bets. I think sizing, ratios, and scale are great. I see that Jacob is here. Stern will eat you alive. I have broken the Stern so many times. Let me try this out, and to zero. And the payoffs aren't huge. When you see how the payoffs come back, it's interesting. Jacob, I'm glad you're here because you did a show last night or yesterday on the Iron Cross. And I think Jacob's, if I'm not mistaken, you're starting a whole series of Iron Cross videos. You made my favorite point as your first point, which was the leveling of the Iron Cross is enormous. The 3-to-1 ratio on that strategy is make or break to me. You can't go out there 2-to-1. 2-to-1, it'll bleed you to death. 3-to-1, you can make money. And actually your tiered regression that you did was fantastic. So you combined a couple of things. One is the right ratio. 2 is a de-leveling of your bets as you go. I think that was really, really cool to watch. And if y'all haven't seen that, make sure you get on that series. You know, we all subscribe to each other, so make sure that you just don't miss it because Jacob's been doing a lot more sports than craps lately. But he's one of the best craps minds in the business. So I definitely, to me, that's a bookmark thing for sure. So anyway, with all that said, let's head over to the table real quick. And I'm going to run a few things out here. Give me a minute to get over there switched out and get that light turned on. And since we mentioned it, let me reiterate Jacob's point on the Iron Cross. And we'll run a few bets out here. And I think what Jacob said was the minimum that you should have on the Iron Cross is this, where you've got 3 units on the 6 and the 8 and 15 he had last night, I would do it here, $10 in the field. That's the proper ratio. I've actually got locally, as you know, a $5 table. So I can play the Iron Cross at $15. I can do 18 on the 6 and the 8 and 15 on the 5. Let me get these bets set out here for you. I can do it like this with 1 nickel in the field. Now, I'm going to be here forever trying to make money like this, but I can go 3-1 at a $5 table. That's still an okay bet to make if you're okay with grinding for a while. Doesn't matter. I tell you all the time, I don't give a shit what the money is. I don't care if that's 100 and these are 300s. It doesn't matter what the value of that check is. It does not matter. What matters is that you have 1 of them here and 3 of them here. Okay? If my bankroll is $150 because that's what I've got, and I'm betting at 15 and 5, that is just as valuable, just as profitable on a percentage basis as somebody who's going with 100 and 300 up in here. Okay? Doesn't matter what the value of the check is. What matters is how many of those you're getting back on a win or how many you're getting back on a loss. So up in here, let's say that you do hit a 5, a 6, or an 8 at the little tiny level. That's a $21 win, right? That's a $5 loss, a $5 replacement. You're bringing back 16 bucks to your rack. That's good. That's great. If this bet was 10 bucks though, instead, that win that you earned up in here, when you replace your $10 field loss, now you're bringing back so much less money. The percentage you're bringing back is so much less to you. That's why we say it's a bleed at levels beyond 3-1. I want these bets to matter. They do roll enough to matter. And again, if you're 14 ways to win here and 16 ways to win here, you're going to win this more often. And I get it that that's a lower amount, right? 1 unit versus 2 units is a lower amount, but overall, the way to make money in the Iron Cross, I think, is that ratio. So that's the first ratio we have to make sure we talk about. And no matter what you're doing Iron Cross base, if you're playing the crossbow that I put out a few weeks back, or you're playing the standard cross that Jacob is talking about this week, get that ratio right. If you don't have the ratio right, don't play it. You're just gonna sit here and grind way too much. It's not worth it. If you're 3-2, or God forbid 1-1, it's just flat out not worth playing at those levels. The other ratio I'll talk about as a simple example is, my favorite strategy, which is the Headless Horseman, which at its core would be a quarter and then 1, 2, 3 come bets that travel up, all at the same size. That's a good strategy. Okay, that's actually a great strategy. And again, one that's designed to beat the early 7s. So here on the 7, you're gonna earn 50 bucks. If this one travels, the next one comes in. The 7 comes, you win a quarter because those 2 cancel out, you win down here. If that one travels and you're here, now the 7 comes in, we tie. That's a bummer, but you're strong against the 7 for 3 rolls. Why not be more of attacking the 7 and doing $10 come bets? And again, the ratio here changes a little bit. In fact, I'd probably want to see you going here, 3-1 if you can do it, or half size it, do it at 20 bucks and make these bets half the size. So in this case, what happens is this, on the 7 here, you win 30 on the first roll. Let's say we get a point of 5, doesn't matter what the point is. And it travels up. On the second one, if the 7 comes now, those 2 cancel, you win 20. It travels up. On the third one, the 7 comes, you lose 2, right? These 2 cancel, essentially. You win $10 out of the end, on the end of that thing. You're strong on the 7, on all 3 bets as you're moving through the process here. When these are half the size of that, you're strong all 3 times coming out. And then when you finally get all 3 of them set, the 7 at this point only really cost you 1 bet instead of costing you multiple bets. If you're out here, let's do another shooter, all at the same level, the 7 at this point costs you half your money versus here it costs you 1. That's an interesting ratio to look at. When you're betting things like this, the ratio, I think, really is important. In fact, I've been toying with this strategy at a 4-1 ratio because I think that's even more powerful. And imagine this, $100 on the don't, and then 3 $25 bets. These are 1/4 the size, 4-1 ratio. Well, look at the ratio here. Assume you get past the come out and you're on the 5. On the first come bet, you're up 125. On the second come bet, these two cancel, you're still winning 100. On the third come bet, you lose 2, you win 1.25. You're still up 75 bucks. And now, once all 3 come bets are set, your don't pass not only covers them, but here's the next ratio conversation. This come bet, or this don't pass bet, is more than them. So the 7 isn't a hedge, the 7 is a play. You're looking to win money on that bet, not hedge out what you've got up here. Now you can work these bets up in here, pull back profit, and always have a strong play on the 7, not just an even money play, which I don't like seeing even money plays. So think about things like that when you're doing the Horseman style betting. By altering the bet sizes of these, you have so many more options. And again, when these things pay, right, the 9 comes down and gets paid, and you bring your initial bet back to your rack, and the next bet goes out, this winnings can be done a lot of ways. You can take this and replace it. You can cut this in half, right? Let's take 5 units out of that and grab 2 numbers and bring back a nickel. You have a lot more options when your bet sizes are small. That's an instant regression. And now look at the power of that 7. The power of the 7 is even stronger once you've reduced it down. You're actually increasing what you can do here. I think ratioing these bets is a critical piece to how we play that out. So let's again clear that out. Again, more food for thought on bet leveling. So another one that we'll talk through, and I think, and Jacob's here, he can correct me if I'm wrong, but when you play something like the 6, 7, 8, and again, ratio here matters big time. Quarter on the don't. Let's just do it at the simple, low, easy level to do the math on. Quarter on the don't with $12.06, $12.08. What position are you in right now? You're in a tie position. A lot of folks that play hybrid do this. They will say statements, and I've heard this on YouTube countless times. I've got 25, so I can bet 25 up here, I'm covered. That's a way to think about it, but that's a hedge, right? And people will say the pure hedge is a non-starter for most people. And here you're saying, well, we're gonna accept the tie on the early 7 out. And then here, once you start getting some payments in here, once these things start paying out, now you can say, okay, well, yeah, I've got some profit. If the 7 comes now, I'm actually ahead. What about ratioing this a different way? And our friend, Crypto Schmipto, who runs the YouTube channel Iniquity's Party Pit, suggests this. I think this is an interesting way to do it, which is to go double on the don't. Go $50 down there versus a $25 6 and 8. So again, ratio, make this 2 to 1 or even higher if you want to be really aggressive, be higher with it and go 75 against the $12 bets, or 75 against 18 up in here for each of those bets. And think about this being a power play. It's not a hedge. It's a power play on the 7 while you're earning money up in here. And in here, whatever you earn in here just gets stacked up. Your instant profit, and you're really running for the 7 here. So instead of just going 1 to 1 and saying, well, I got myself covered, go 2 to 1 in here, or go 2 to 1 up in here. Go 30 and 30 and just a quarter, and play the 7 at a lower level and say, I'll take some juice on the 7, but really what I'm going for is this. It comes down to, what are you targeting? You targeting the 7? You targeting this, or you targeting a tie? You got to make a decision, I think. And this right here, there's no decision being made. You're sitting on top of the fence. I would rather you pick a side and do that. Okay, that's another idea of ratio. The 6, 7, 8, great strategy. I think this ratio versus these is an important one. Either go 2 to 1 here or 2 to 1 here. Whatever direction you choose to do the 2 to 1, I think ratio is a big one. The last thing I want to talk to you about, and again, this is all just kind of food for thought, is in your hedging. So let's take a look at, we can actually do $100 in the don't. This is about the point of time where most of us go, ooh, we're puckering up a little bit. That's a big bet on the don't pass. And you're starting to want to hedge that, right? You may not hedge. I don't here. If I have a $10 don't, I don't give a shit. That's money that I'm okay with based on my bankroll. The bigger don'ts, now you start getting squirrely. You get up in the $100 level, you get squirrely. Let's remove the 11 out of the mix. Actually, we'll do 100. Oh, let's make it 75. We'll do this first, and I'll show you why I'm doing this. Let's say we have 75 on the don't. What's the obvious hedge here? The obvious hedge here is this, right? $5 on the yo. What does $5 on the yo pay? Somebody tell me in the chat, what does $5 on the yo pay? Right, it's 5 times 15, $75 last I checked, okay? That's a 1-for-1 in there, right? That's a 1-for-1 hedge, which again, it's kissing your sister that there's nothing to be gained by that other than this is a bet to me that's a weak bet. That's trying to save this bet versus just going here and trying to attack that bet, okay? Now, the 7 is my friend, right? I'm looking for, or the 11, I'm looking for an 11 now. Now the 11 pays me 125. And while I'm there, I'll often do this. I'll drop a couple of bucks out here on the midnight. Now every craps number is my friend. The only thing I care about now is the 7. The 7 is what's gonna crush me here. But if I'm doing this, I'm gonna attack the tie. If I get a 12, I'm gonna take $60 out here. If I get an 11 that used to take my 75, now it earns me 75. This pays 150, I earn $75. When I hedge for more. From a ratio standpoint, if you're just gonna be a hedger and just do that, you're gonna bleed. If you're gonna hedge like this, you're a little bit in attack mode. And sure, you're giving up $12 out of 75. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with making this bet be worth $63. I'm okay with reducing the power of a high bet, right? At the quarter level, if I'm gonna bet 2 on the yo, which wins 30, so it's a $5 profit plus $1 over here, and my bet's worth $23 or $22. That starts to be a little too much shaved off of that bet at that lower level. At the higher levels, totally cool to do that, right? So why not have a $100 don't and back that up with a $10 yo? And again, a $2 12. That's a great ratio, right? This still wins 150, right? You're gonna be up 50 on the 11. You're gonna be up 30 on the 12. Of course, you're gonna be up 100 on the 2 or the 3. You're just battling the 7 now. You're battling the 7 for one roll. You have a one roll battle on the 7, and as we know, 84% of the time, that bet will win. Get through. Win meaning it gets through to some point. You're gonna be okay most of the time. But I think it's ratio. I think you cannot just come out here with the exact size bet that's gonna save that. Because that's the bleed. That's the bleed. Use your hedges at higher levels. I think that's gonna be to me, it's an interesting way to look at it. I always say to you, hedge for more. This is what I mean by when I say hedge for more. I always hedge if I'm gonna do it for more. I'll give you another example. When we play the ricochet system, the ricochet system, again, is designed for, let's say we have a point of 8, doesn't matter what the point is, but let's say that's the point of 8. The ricochet wants to come through the don't come. We're trying to beat the 7, not here, we're gonna beat it here. We bypass here, we come through here with a $25 bet. To win, to get this bet to come through to behind the number, again, I'm at risk. To me, that's a $2 yo, right? I'll take maybe even $3 on this one here. Right, I'll take 3. I'll take a $45 win against a quarter. That's good. That's an attack. I'll lay the 8, and what I'll lay the 8 for is this. I'll lay it for $60. I'll spread those out for you. You could lay it for 30 to win 25. 7 comes, you tie. Why not? If you're gonna take the risk for a one roll lay it for more. Lay the point for more than you're gonna lose over here. To me, that's an attack on the 7. I'll take that early 7, and that's great. We'll lose this quarter, but you're gonna win 50 on that. That's great. I'll take that $50, I'll put it where you can see it. I'll take the $50 win, right? It nets me 25 because I lost a quarter. That's beautiful. Hedge for more on the way out of something like that. And then once you have that thing set, now you got a great bet here on the no 8 or whatever. Let's say it goes to the 9, doesn't matter. Let's say it goes to 9. That's a great bet when it slides over. You got a nice high bet and you are powerful on the 7. Again, you're gonna lose this, big deal. $22 bet now on the 9. That's great, I'll take that. I'll take the $22 on the 7 all day long if I can get it. But again, while I was here, while I was in position where I had to protect the don't come, hedge for more. Make yourself money when that thing comes through. Don't play from weakness. Don't play from a point of weakness. Play from a point of strength wherever you can get it. Play strong. That's my advice here. I know that sounds a little risky, but that's the way I think you ought to do it. Now, with that said, I will show you this. I meant to kind of hide this from you, but I'll show it to you anyway. Somebody said to me in chat the other day, hedging is the worst possible thing. It's a bleed and blah, 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 right? Let's say you're here. Let's say, and if y'all remember the 3-point blender strategy from way back, right? That was a way to kind of get 3 of these things going at once. I have seen guys do the ricochet, lay here, come out of the don't, get one number and drop a quarter and just sit here, right? You can ratio this one too. We'll talk about that in a minute. And literally have one don't come and one place bet on the same number all day long. And when the win comes, when the 9 rolls, you lose your don't, but you win $35. Your net is 10, and you live to fight another day. And they'll sit there and they'll bleed out and win $10 or nothing. Then the 7 comes, you tie and you go home. If the 9 comes, you win a little bit of juice. Playing that way as a hedge, that's the legit way to play. I know people will say that's bullshit, you should never do that. But I'm telling you, if you come out of the gate rocking the lay on the point for one roll, let this travel into a number, place the number for the exact same amount where you can, that's gonna win you $10. That is gonna win you $24. Over here, you have to risk it a little bit, but again, you're gonna risk 5 to make 10. Okay. That's not, you're gonna brag on people who do that. I'm telling you what, the guys that stand back by the hook and have all those massive stacks of black or green or red chips, they see that's what they're doing, right? The guys that are here to make a daily paycheck don't need to hit a home run. They're not here hitting home runs. They're here grinding that out all day long. And that's okay to do. That's okay to do. I want to give you permission to play that way if you like. But the story of the day is ratio. Ratio. I'm going to try and do some more with this style of betting. I'm going to try and showcase a little bit more of bigger don'ts with smaller inside play, just like this. And I think this right here, to me, that's a power play. That's a huge power play. I love doing this. A couple of collects and a press up in here, and you are good. You are good to go. And in fact, once you collect enough money here, you can always pull this down if you like. You can bet the point, whatever you want to, but this right here, that ratio is beautiful. I think that's great. And I think that Crypto Schmipto, who put this out as a video, did a really good job of explaining it. And I wanted to kind of give him some credit for that and also showcase what this looks like in practice. At 2-to-1, it's fine too, right? A 2-to-1 ratio, again, with a $5 yo coming out on this here, 75 win versus $50 out there, that's great. Lose this on an 11 and win a quarter. That's a beautiful ratio. Again, I would probably do it like this. I'd probably have that on the come out, right? Before these bets are off when I'm here, 50 here, I'll get a $25 win here, I'll get a $30 win here. I'm in business. That's, to me, the right ratio. Hedge for more. Don't even call it a hedge, just call it a power play, right? We talk about the way to win at craps is to be on the number when it rolls and have enough money there to make it matter, right? This right here is not having enough money on that number to make it matter. Actually, you'd probably need 3, which most people would do is put $3 there to win 45 against 50. That's pissing away money. That money doesn't matter, right? Just go to 5, make it matter. Make your bets matter. Bet on the thing that's gonna come out. If it happens to roll, you're gonna profit on it. If not, you weaken this a little bit. At the higher levels, I'm okay with a $6 weakening of that bet. That's worth it to make that play, to me. To me, these bets are worth the investment against that size of a bet. I'll take the chance to earn profit when I can. I like to attack whenever I have a chance to attack. I'm not gonna sit out here and pray all the time on that bet. So there it is. That's my talk today on sizing ratios. And I know there's no answers there. There's no answers there. What I hope that you got out of that was something to think about, right? I want you to think about when you're constructing your own strategies. Let me go ahead and get back to this. Hold on one second. What I want you to think about when you're constructing your strategies is that. Think about not just how much because again, a strategy is made of a lot of pieces, right? There's what are you betting on, and how much are you betting, and how long are you going to be there, right? So Jacob showed us, the iron cross with a tiered regression down. How long are you going to be at those levels is a big part of it. But where are you? Where is your money, and how much of your money is there? I think is part of it. Bet ratios on static bets, I think, are a thing that we don't talk about enough, and we should talk about them more. So that's what I want you to do, is think about the ratios when you're making your strategies and you're doing your practice work. Work through that and find your own personal, I want to say, butter zone. Does that make sense? So that's what I'm hoping for. So there we go. I am looking at the chat now, so we'll consider that part over. A lot of chat went on. I saw, again, as you know, from where I stand, right, I can see the chat. I am not wearing my glasses. I see the chat moving. I still see it kind of doing this. I can't tell who is saying what. So let me go ahead and put my filter on here and see if I can't find some of the questions. I'll look for some questions from Midmo Yo. He said, it's weird when someone like me makes videos about other strats that it's good. Here's the thing, and I told Mike from On Point Craps the same thing, and I give you the same advice. It does two things, right? Having a channel is a responsibility, and it's also an accountability piece. So my advice to you is this: from an accountability standpoint, we roll our strategies out, we talk through them, and we do that because it makes us have to be better at the strategy. So if you're rolling it out and talking through it, you're gonna get better at understanding how it works as you talk through it, which I think is a good thing. I say this all the time. I used to be a computer programmer. I was a really, really, really good programmer. Not to pat myself on the back, but I was good at it. Made good money, had a couple great jobs. Then I went to teaching computer programming. And I graduated from being an actual productive member of the coding society to a teacher. I got so much better at coding when I started teaching it, because all the students ask, how does this work? Why'd you do that? What's, getting those answers and really understanding how shit works made me so much better. I write apps now that are so much better quality than I used to write, because now I really understand what I was doing. I think Craps is the same thing. I think when you're breaking down somebody else's strategy, it is the same thing. You're gonna learn so much more about the game and get so much better in your own shifting of money out there when you explain it. I think Mike has done that in spades. On Point Craps has gone so high in level with regards to teaching and how he does things. That's, I think, the secret to it. So it's good. Keep it up. I see Rocky has a question here. It says, I always hear Money Shot talk and Jacob talk about roll count. I do not work off a roll count unless my strategy calls for it. Somebody else put a thing out that said, and it was a comment to one of my videos on the quarter pounder with ease episode I did. He said, I do the ease with 2 shots and down. And actually, let me go back to the table. I'm going to show you something, because Jacob did this last night, and I think this was a work of art. And here's a good example. I don't do a roll count. I think your question is, do I do this? Do I come out with nothing? And here might be the example, right? We let our user, let me go to the zoom view so you can see the whole table here, the wide view. Let's say our shooter rolls the dice and they come out to an 8, okay? Do I wait 5 rolls, the 5 count, qualify the shooter as 1 roll? Well, he got his point, but we're still counting that as 1 roll. We'll actually put it in here. There's 1. We'll kind of keep track as we go here. How many non-7s or productive rolls do we get? There's 2. Points now a 6. And there's a couple reasons why I'm not betting. There's a 7. Counter gets reset. Puck is off, and we restart the process again. So we come out to an 11. That's actually okay. I'm going to count that as a non-productive roll, but it's not a 7. There's a 4. There's your point. And again, we're going to wait. That's 2 rolls. 2 non-7s. There's an 8. That's 3 non-7s. There's a 6. That's 4 non-7s. Now I'm. Do I get to play? Do I get to play this hand? Maybe. Oh, we did. We got a 10. Now I get to put my money out there. Now it's time to go ahead and do my iron cross, or whatever we're going to do. Let's go ahead and do Jacobs. We're going to go the 6, the 8, and the 5 at $90. We're going to go out there and we're going to go hard on this thing, right? $90, 6 and 8, 75 on the 5, and $30 in the field. The shooter has qualified themselves. They're a stud. Here we go, right? Wouldn't it be great if, oh my God, it's perfect. That was there's your 7, right? You waited for 5 rolls because that shooter is good, man. They proved it. They're great. I waited till the 5th roll. I put my shit out there, and here comes that frickin' 7, right? The longer you go, the more likely this is. If you believe in probabilities resetting themselves, that to me is one of the dumbest moves you can make, I think. I'm not a fan of that. Now, I want to be in and out. What if we did this instead? What if we had our bets preset, and we'll take the Jacob method from yesterday, and we don't do the 5 count? And again, yeah, I like to say this to you all the time. I've got my shorts down right now, right? We come out 7. Let's just get an actual number set here. We'll wait till a point's established. Now, Jacob will tell you that you should wait. You should always be working if you're not have a line bet. I like to relax sometimes, but here we are, right? We have a point out, and rather than waiting for 5 rolls, yes, I've got, what is that, 150, that's 2.25, 250, 280 out there. It's a lot of money at risk here for 1 roll. There's my 6. That pays 105. I'll put my winnings right here. I should put them here. 105, that pays 105. And we bring them down. Let's come down. Let's do a tiered regression. We'll come down to 60 on the inside. We'll make that 30 look like 20. And I'll bring $5 into my rack, okay? Now we brought things down a little bit. We've reduced our overall risk. There's 1 shot. Let's get 1 more non-7 if we can. There's an 8, hard 8. 4-4, square pair, hard 8. That pays $70, 50, $70. We're gonna lose the field. I should have lost the field last time. I didn't replace it, but that's, again, come down all the way. 2 hits and go back to Tipperary and you're done, right? I'm out. I got my money. I survived what you have to survive, which is 2 hits. I owe the bank, by the way, $30 because we hit the 8 earlier. So my bad for not replacing that when we brought our bets down. But here we are, right? I went out there with, let's set it up. There's my 5. There's my 6. There's my 8. And there was my field, right? And I walk out of here with 125, 35, 145 in profit in 2 hits. That's a better way to do it. If you're scared of the 7 that bad, 2 pieces of advice. 1, get out early. Come high, go down, get the hell out of there, or play the 7. Just play the don't. I would say if you're that scared of it, just don't play. Don't play a right side strategy. If you're so worried about it and you're gonna wait that long, I'm not a big fan of waiting for 5 rolls. I think it's not a good thing to do unless you're gonna be a come better. If you're gonna wait 5 rolls and come into the come, that's a different story because at least you're getting play on the 7. I could see waiting 5 rolls and then doing the come bet portion only of the Hedges Horseman and maybe do a come ladder. That's a great way to do a come ladder and get 7 progressions going, but I don't wait. I feel like that's too, it puts you're waiting too long. I mean, like I said, 5, 6 rolls in, that 7's coming, right? That's not the time to throw all your money out there. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that answers your question, Rocky. I'll put it back up here again. If you want more on that, you can drop me a new note and I can let you know. All right, let's see. Yeah, the intent, Jay is right. It's intent to stave off the early shooters. But again, I play the Horseman most of the time. Please be an early 7 out. I don't care. I got my don't pass. I got my 3 come bets. I'm making money on those early 7s all day long. And if you get to roll 5, I've already got money out there. When you're at roll 5, I got my come bets are set and I'm starting to collect on you versus, waiting it out and then getting hammered like I just did. So that's the reason why I don't do it. I employ strategies that work well early for that reason. Now, again, they aren't perfect, but I believe that that's the way that I see it. Hope that makes sense. All right. I don't see anything else. I don't see anything else here that's calling out to me specifically, but I'll go to the bottom of the chat and just make sure I'm not missing any extra comments. So let's see. All right. It looks like no. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm reading through, make sure I didn't miss anything that's important to talk about. So, all right. Well, with that said, it is 8:55. I've got a class to go kick off here in 5 minutes at my real job. So, good hanging out with you guys again on Monday. Thanks for always. Thanks for being here with me. I appreciate it. You have no idea what it means to have 40 people come watch you every morning like this. It's pretty awesome. Hopefully, that was a valuable lesson today. Again, think about the ratios as you're making your own strategies up, and we'll continue this tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll probably go into the progressive systems again. Then we'll go back to Labouche, D'Alembert, and Stern on Friday. We'll do a couple of Stern rollouts Friday. The new Stern 3.0, it's a 15 or 16 progression. You need like $3,000 to get through it. It's interesting, to say the least, but you make your own choice. Here we go. That's it, everybody. Have a great day, y'all. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you hitting the like button. And like Ken says, share it, right? Share the channel, share the videos. Let folks know what we're doing if we can help them out. So y'all have a great Monday, and hopefully have a good start to your week. Love y'all. God bless. Thanks.